Actually, Shifu, can I ask a follow-up question from yesterday?
And
Yeah. So, what about scholar monks? Does Shifu discourage being scholar monks as well?
scholar monks. Scholar monks means that they are still monks. Or for that matter, scholar nuns. Like Venerable Bhikkhu Bodhi, his first estate is still as a monastic. Yeah. And then in addition to that, he is doing a service to the community by doing translations and giving teachings. Yeah, so I would say if you look at the translations that he has done, and then when he do give talks or he write articles, then it always points towards liberation. Yeah, it will always point towards the renunciation path. Yeah, so I would still say that. Actually, yesterday there was a student, Danry. Sometimes he come online. So he wrote, "Good evening, Shifu. Hope everything has been well for you." Yes, it has been well for me. Was watching your sharing this morning, which is yesterday morning, and was wondering, what about the professors in colleges that teaches Sangha, such as BCS and IBC? Would those kind be okay? So that's the first part. The second part, though it wasn't me that asked the question, such a career prospect had crossed my mind before, but I can't go in that direction because I'm bonded, ha ha ha. So, from what I know, some of the Sri Lankan professors, they were actually ordained as monks for quite a number of years. And then due to various conditions, they disrobed. And because they spend the bulk of their life doing nothing but learning Dharma, so you cannot ask them to now suddenly go and take up another profession in that sense, you know? Yeah. Now, I don't know whether any of them started off with the intent, oh, I want to go and ordain, learn a lot of Dharma, and then after that, disrobe to become a professor. I don't know whether any of them do that. I don't think any of them do that. I like to think none of them do that. But here, yesterday's question was a bit different. Yesterday's question was purely asking about the career prospects. Yeah, yeah. Taking Buddhist studies as a career. So if you ask anybody, if you ask other people, let's say lay person, their response will be quite different. Like if I now were to reply not as a monastic, okay, and maybe not as a Buddhist, then my reply would be, be a lecturer as in Buddhist studies. Huh? Yeah. At the first place, to go academic path, to go into academia, if let's say you take up, let's say computer science, okay, yeah, not Buddhist studies, and then you say you want to become, you want to go academia. Even in the lay world, right? If you go into academia and you go into like the higher aspiration will be to go into research, you know. Yeah, if you let's say do a PhD, you will want to do research instead of doing teaching. Yeah, because teaching is a, I mean, this is what I heard from students who are PhD holders. They say for them, like if they get stuck in a university and the university load them with a lot of teaching duties, then they may consider moving. Yeah. Why? Because if you are doing teaching, you do tutor, you do teaching, your time is taken away from doing your research. Yeah. And if you don't do research for just 1 year, your gap with your peers who are doing research is huge, you know. Yeah. Sometimes we think, wow, in the industry, wow, a lot of new things come up every year. The reason why new things can come out every year is because there are a lot of people doing research, and the research is actually moving at very fast pace. But of course, fast is relative. Yeah, but 1 year of research time, if you lose it, the difference, yeah, I have some students who tell me, like, if they are out of research for 1 year, max 2 years, it'll be very hard to get back into research. Then they'll start doing teaching. And that's not what they want to do also. Yeah. So are there those who choose academic path just to do teaching? Yeah, of course. And no crime or shame in doing that. Yeah, but as I said, if I'm a lay person and someone tell me they want to do take up a career, and when we talk about career prospects, then the Buddhist studies have no career prospect. I mean, the truth is this, right? Because Dharma was never a lucrative trade, ma. You know what I'm saying? So it would appear to me, either way, it's not a viable choice. Yeah. Of course, there will be those who think, well, at least I'm teaching Dharma, ma. Yeah, but I've already highlighted all the possible faults. Yeah, your mindset, maybe right on the first day, your mindset is still quite pure. But if you do it as a career, over time, it degrades. Over time, the focus becomes shifted. Let's not talk about teaching Buddhist studies. I know of teachers. Teachers, that means they teach math, science, and different subjects. When they first start off, they have so much passion for teaching. They really love children. It may not be primary school or secondary school, it may be higher level, but they really love teaching. But then after they start teaching, because of the needs of the system, then they end up having to do a lot of administrative work, you know. And the better you are, then the higher you go. Then after a while, you get promoted to be subject head. Then later become HOD. Then once you become subject head or HOD, you start to do more planning. You know, you start to have more meetings than teaching. Yeah. So some of them, after a while, they don't like it. Yeah. Yeah. You end up shifting away. Some, after a while, they just totally embrace it, and their interest in teaching start to wane. Yeah. In fact, the irony is, those who are scholars if you have passion, right, and you have and you're good in your studies, and you are a scholar as in you take up a scholarship, Singapore scholarship, and you choose teaching as a path, you end up not teaching, you know, because if you are a scholar, you go in within a short time, you are actually on a career track to become HOD, VP, P within a few years, within a short time. I don't know what is the exact number. And of course, your knowledge may vary. Not all scholars become like that, but that's your track, the career track, right? From what I know, okay? Anyone from MOE, if you hear this, correct me if I'm wrong. In Singapore, you must always qualify. Yeah, but that is the fact, right? Yeah. So I still think the question itself is quite interesting. The question itself is, it has two elements. One, which is the consideration of learning Dharma, Buddhist studies, and then in the same sentence, career prospect and Buddhist studies doesn't seem to make sense. Yeah. Oh. So from a lay point of view, from a worldly, not lay, I mean, I'm not lay. From a worldly point of view, career prospect, this is one of the worst career prospects. Yeah. I mean, the truth is, if you every year they will publish, right, the prospects for all the different courses, right? We have the usual suspects like accountancy, business, right? And then you have like these days you have com science, com engine, yeah. The pay is rather high, right? So then they go by industry, banking, petrochem, these are the usual suspects of crazy high pay. In the past, I don't know about now. Do you see any part that is Buddhist studies? So you ask me, no career prospect one. Yeah. So if you take up Buddhist studies with a mindset, oh, I want to take it as a career, then you're barking up the wrong tree. You're pursuing the right thing for the wrong reason. Yeah, no career prospects. Yeah, and we shouldn't be thinking, oh, then we should fix this problem. We should have more Buddhist colleges so that there's a career. You see where this is going? Yeah. Hey, I don't see how this can go in the right way. We should have Buddhist colleges so that people can come and learn Dharma. We should have Buddhist colleges where there are monastics who are well trained, ingrained in the Dharma, so that they can learn and practice. Yeah, so that they can very quickly establish themselves in right view. Yeah, not just monastics, lay and monastics alike. Yeah, so that they can propagate the Dharma. Also, to answer Denry, yeah, as much as in the past, I thought I learned a lot of Dharma when I was younger. Yeah, and one of the reasons why I decided on this, I realized I don't know anything. Yeah, I realized. Yeah, one of the reasons why I chose to ordain is because I realized what I know is just really scratching the surface. I sometimes wonder whether I even scratched the surface. Yeah. Yeah, and much of it was just theoretical in the past. Yeah. So and even then, and among my peers, no one can uh, uh, so-called defeat me in my Dharma knowledge when I was a layperson. Yeah, but I never thought, oh, I want to be a Dharma teacher and like this, like that. In fact, I was with the youth group in Foguangshan for a short time, and they have this track. They have this track not as a profession, but they have this track. They will identify youth leaders, some youth, to do this training, 谈讲师. Yeah, basically be a Dharma speaker, a Dharma teacher. Yeah, but then I just couldn't make it. Why? Because they're training for the 谈讲师, right? At least that's how it was. I don't know about now, okay? Is that you have to read, you have to more or less memorize what Xing Fa Shi said. And when the 谈讲师 give talks, right, is basically read what Xing Fa Shi said. Yeah. This was something that just, my brain just hang. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to say whether this is good or bad, right or wrong, but for even my own teachers taught teachings, I don't go and memorize it. Yeah. Even my own teacher, he says, 我们要敬讲的话，你们可以丢进太平洋去。我们要尊重佛菩萨讲的话。Yeah, my teacher don't put what he say as, wow, this is why you must go and worship it. No, he don't say that. Yeah, he allow us to question the teachings. Anyway, sidetrack. So, any other questions? Any other questions? Danny, yes?
Good morning, Sifu and everyone.
Good morning.
Question on meditation. So sometimes meditation, the mind is clear, sometimes not so clear, and then sometimes like fall into some sort of a trance, like it's very comfortable, actually not clear, right? So during the meditation, should we try to adjust it, trying to, let's say if it's not clear, should we try to adjust it to focus more, or no, or loosen or tighten the mind? Should we adjust it during meditation? Because I think different traditions, they say different things. Like some may say, no, just let it be. But maybe, I don't know if there's tradition that says that you should adjust it during the meditation itself. Say from not clear to become clear, then you tighten the mind. But sometimes you tighten the mind too much, also a bit difficult before, during, and then after meditation, you feel this tightness. So maybe hopefully can advise this here.
Well, whatever tradition a person is from must be from the Buddha's tradition. And if it's from the Buddha's tradition, then we have to fall back to the suttas. I don't say that it must die be Pali Canon, but Pali Canon is a safe bet. So if you look at Pali Canon or Mahayana Sutras, you find that there's this common theme that if it's wholesome, then you try to help it grow. If it's unwholesome, you must work on the antidote to reduce it, to remove it. Yeah. So that's to say, we don't just let it be. We don't just let it be. Further, in various suttas, the Buddha expound this can we say method? Yeah. In Mandarin, in brief, it's called 直觉舍. 直觉舍. So 直 is to quieten, yeah, to stop, to quieten. 觉, 直觉, 觉 is to arouse, to lift it up, to uplift.舍is like what you ask, leave it alone. Yeah. So it's not that you cannot leave it alone, but when do you leave it alone? When it's in equilibrium, when it's in balance. Yeah, then you leave it alone. This is with respect to samatha practice. So if the mind is drowsy, you're supposed to uplift it, arouse it, so that it is awake. If it's too cloudy, yeah, or rather not cloudy, too discursive, thinking all over the place, you're supposed to do the first method to quieten it, to stop it. Stop what? Stop the discursive thoughts. Yeah. So when you stop the discursive thoughts, when there's thoughts, then it settles down. And then sometimes settle down too much, then it becomes blurred. Then you arouse it. Then you arouse it too much, then it becomes a bit, unsettled again. Then you quieten it. Yeah, so is this fine balance until it is without discursive thoughts and also without drowsiness. Then you just maintain equanimity. Yeah, that means you don't have to particularly do anything, but you just maintain that. The Buddha used the analogy of the metal, the blacksmith. Yeah, the blacksmith. You take the blacksmith have a piece of metal, and then they will burn it, right? He'll heat it up. So he used this as an analogy. That if the blacksmith will heat it up, and then so that it's malleable. Malleable means you can shape it. Yeah, pliable, malleable. Yeah, and then you can shape it. But after a while, it cool down. When it cool down, it becomes brittle. So you cannot shape it anymore. Yeah, because it basically becomes like yeah. Or rather, when it cool down, it becomes hard. You cannot, yeah. So you must heat it up. If you heat it up too much, then you become So then you will sprinkle water to cool it down a bit. Yeah, or he may just take it out and dip it into the water to cool it. Then he heat up a bit more. Then he so he used this process as an analogy to the meditation process. Yeah, where we apply the tree. When it's just nice, then the blacksmith will start to shape it. Yeah. So 直居舍. There may be reasons why some traditions suggest to just leave it alone. I don't know what is their basis, but if we were to try to say explain for such, then it could be that maybe for some people, the harder they try to overcome it, then the mind becomes more agitated. Yeah. So sometimes it's contextual. Yeah, it's contextual. So sometimes this teacher directed to this particular student gave this teaching. Then the other students hear, oh, then just take this, maybe take this and oh, every time whatever you experience, just leave it alone, you'll be okay. Then that's not applying the full context. Because those sutras that talk about 直居舍 is found in all the traditions. Yeah. In Theravada Sutta, you can find it. In Mahayana teachings, you can find it also. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So meditation is actually an active process. Yeah. If you find that, oh, meditation is very comfortable, don't have to do anything, then you're doing it wrong. Yeah. Meditation is an active process, observing your body and mind, observing your breath, observing your thoughts, and then tuning it. If meditation is just a passive process of just leaving things alone, and somehow your mind will just become purified and enlightened, then we should just put ourselves into a deep sleep coma for 5 years, and then see who attain enlightenment first. Cannot wake up, okay, do some exercise, inject again, okay, let's try again. Or maybe 5 years is too long. 1 week, once a week, inject, still not enlightened, still haven't have jhana, jab again. Yeah, no. It is an active process. That's why it's called Xiu Xing. Otherwise, you're just sitting there passive, not doing nothing. Then how is that Xiu Xing? Yeah, how is that a cultivation, tuning, and adjusting ourselves? So it is an active process. Okay. Anything else you want to adjust?
谢谢师父, understand you.
Okay. How about the rest? Any nuts or screw that is loose, need me to tighten? Or too tight, I need to loosen? If not, put your palms together. 愿消三障诸烦恼，
愿消三障诸烦恼，
愿得智慧真明了，
愿得智慧真明了，
不愿罪障悉消除，
不愿罪障悉消除，
世世常行菩萨道。
世世常行菩萨道。
阿弥陀佛。Till we meet again, may be guided and protected by the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu.
And as always,
Likewise. Thank you, Shifu.
have Have a not tight, not loose day ahead. Take care, stay safe.
Thank you, Sư
Thank
Phụ.
you, Sư Phụ.
Hang on. Adele, you want to say something?
Yeah, I'd like to make dedication to
Oh, yes. Yes. Should have mentioned earlier. So Cadell shared with me that one of the participants members in the SGC chat has passed away. Eddie, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So how do you know how old he is?
He's in his early 40s.
Early 40s.
Yeah.
Oh, what was the cause of death?
I think it's due to lung related problem.
Lung related problem. Huh? Oh, okay. Not COVID, right?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So like to so let's extend dedication to Eddie. Do you know his surname?
Tan.
Eddie Tan. Like to extend dedication to Eddie Tan. May he have the conditions to be reborn in Pure Land in a happy realm. May he have the conditions to come in contact with the Triple Gem, learn and practice the Buddha Dharma, and in due time attain to final liberation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.